Joe is a 7-time Grammy nominee. He has been around for over 20 years and released 12 albums, 6 of which reached top 10 on Billboard. He has topped the R&B charts multiple times with hits such as Don't Wanna Be a Player and I Wanna Know. He has had 2 number 1 hits on Billboard with Stutter featuring Mystikal and Thank God I Found You with Mariah Carey and 98 Degrees. He is cemented as one of the icons of R&B, especially from the 90s and early 2000s. So where is Joe today? And was his career ended by a jealous rival? He simply goes by the name Joe, but he was born Joseph Lewis Thompson in 1973. He was raised in Georgia, but moved to New Jersey before signing his first recording contract in 1992. Joe worked in a gospel record store in New Jersey. Most of his music education was through his local church, where he learned instruments and wrote songs. During this time, he met Vincent Herbert, the ex-husband of Tamar Braxton. Together, they recorded 3 songs for a demo tape, and he ended up getting signed to Mercury Records. His debut album, Everything, reached top 20 in the R&B charts. But it wasn't until he contributed to the soundtrack for the movie Don't Be a Menace to South Central While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood that he had his first breakthrough single. All the Things Your Man Won't Do reached number 11 on Billboard and became an international hit. This was the song where the world was introduced to Joe, who released his second album, All That I Am, after getting a new deal with Jive. And his hit single, Don't Wanna Be a Player, came from that album. This song was also on the Booty Call soundtrack, and the album went platinum. This success was unfortunately met with jealousy by a former label mate of Joe's. This person was a fellow R&B singer and felt threatened by Joe and his emerging success. In the 2014 Vlad TV interview, Joe revealed that he was disappointed to learn that R. Kelly attempted to sabotage and end his career, trying to eliminate him as competition. Joe confirmed that he received credible information that R. Kelly had been speaking out against him to some of the label executives. He said Kelly had no idea he was actually speaking to people who were his friends too. Joe alluded to him giving people ultimatums about playing his records. He said, quote, "As if they're going to stop playing my record because you said, if we don't stop playing his record, I'm never going to come back to this show." It sounded like R. Kelly wanted them to choose between him or Joe, not wanting them to promote his music. A very childish and insecure move by the sound of it. Joe said, "No one man has all that power. Trust me when I tell you." He said he built solid relationships within the industry, so there was no way he would have allowed that to happen. When asked what the issue was between him and R. Kelly, Joe said they never had an altercation or a negative exchange. In fact, he was a huge fan of his music back in the day, and he had always admired his artistry. He believes he was simply threatened by him, since he was in his lane, as he put it.
I mean, I think sometimes when you feel a little bit of that threat, you know, someone in your lane, when you got that lane wide open, you able to drive how you want. Almost like you're the only one on that lane. You're the only car allowed in that lane. And now here I am, I'm on your bumper, kind of tapping you a little bit like, yo, move, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't the only one here, you know? You hogging the lane up. And I think that's what it was. I think it was more so of that. There's a little bit of a threat on that side. Because he don't even know how much I respect him as far as, you know, his music goes. I think he's, you know, incredible talent, but, you know, I got a nice whip too.
Would it be fair to say that at Jive Records, your label mate, R. Kelly, would it be fair to say that he tried to sabotage your career?
If it's a true thing, I mean, it's alleged, I mean, which was told to me from a respected program director, and who said that this guy was calling radio stations and said, yo, this guy, Joe, you need to stop on these records, or I'm not coming to support your show. And I'm not sure how true that is, but going from the character of people who knows him very well, like his close family and friend, who he also snaked, told me some things, and he said this is very much his character.
They do have a similar look. They're both bald R&B singers. Thankfully, those are the only similarities. Joe went on to have a long, successful career despite the attempts to sabotage it. However, when he released his 6th studio album, back in 2008. He did admit that sometimes his label gave in to R. Kelly's demands. Watch for more on this. Joe is also a writer and producer. He has written and produced for groups such as Escape and High Five, and done remixes for Tina Turner and Barry White. He enjoyed his first #1 hit in 1999 with Mariah Carey. He sang on the track Thank God I Found You for her Rainbow album. The remix for the song featured Nas. His third album, My Name is Joe, went 3 times platinum and peaked at 2 on the Billboard 200. It was his most successful album to date, and it involved working with other producers such as Teddy Riley. 3 successful singles from the album were I Wanna Know, Treat Her Like a Lady and Stutter. The album was a hit worldwide, and Joe received Grammy nominations for Best R&B Album and Best Male R&B Vocal Performance. He continued to release albums throughout the 2000s with reasonably moderate success. By his 6th studio album, Joe ventured more towards hip-hop, creating an edgier sound. He collaborated with rappers such as Nas, Fabulous, Papoose, and Young Buck. This paid off as the album, Ain't Nothing Like Me, was a success, reaching 2 on Billboard and 1 in the R&B charts. The single, If I Was Your Man, reached #3 on Billboard. Joe stayed with Jive throughout his career, despite his label mates' attempts to sabotage it. But by the end of 2007, he fell out with the label and left. It's believed he was dissatisfied with the level of promotion his music received, and it was revealed that R. Kelly was behind this. After he left, it became apparent just how much of an impact his label mate had on his progress. In 2008, Joe first spoke about R. Kelly's actions with Eureb.com. He said R. Kelly put pressure on label executives and radio stations to cease promoting his records, and his singles got less attention. After his successful 3rd album, he didn't do as well as expected. Joe and R. Kelly actually worked together for his 5th album. R. Kelly wrote the lead single, More and More, and it reached top 20. Speaking of R. Kelly, Joe said, R. Kelly was very instrumental in making a lot of decisions when it came to my records being played on the radio. He would make a call to the radio station or to the label and say, hey, this Joe record is too hot right now. Y'all need to pull that back. And they would oblige, he said. After leaving Jive, Joe began to release music independently, and he was said to be happier than ever. I'm still very relevant in the game, but yeah, he did try to make some decisions when it came down to my records being on fire and climbing up the charts and on the radio stations. He felt like they should pull back because he felt he was more important, and with their loyalty to him, they obliged. Joe became aware of this 6 months after he left Jive. He left believing it was time to do his own thing. Joe's subsequent albums were released under Cedar Entertainment. He had more top 10 albums on Billboard and in the R&B charts. He went on to collaborate with artists such as Keith Sweat, Fantasia, and Kelly Rowland, and he toured with Ashanti in 2017. His song Big Rich Town with 50 Cent was the theme song for 50 Cent's hit show Power. But it ended up getting replaced by Trey Songz's version featuring Boogie with the Hoodie, and the fans were not happy. Joe responded to the love from fans on Instagram saying, all in favour, say aye. Fans have a lot of power. Y'all are amazing. I will hit y'all once I'm settled in Africa. At 50 Cent, all love, we made a classic. 50 responded in his usual eloquent way, saying, these MFers talking about Trey Songz. All haven't bought a Joe CD in years, and y'all want to talk about Trey Songz. Trey did that as a favour to me. I'ma have to put it back the way it was. Which version did you prefer? My Name is Joe Thomas is his most recent album. Do you think R. Kelly ruined Joe's career? Or do you think he handled it well and has had a long successful career, despite not having a hit in recent years? Thanks for watching. Share your thoughts below, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to click the bell for more.